That's why you watch most of my stuff, the NWO. If I can make it make sense, the NWO will get involved. I don't like it when you just bring it in for whatever, and it's the same old hashed up NWO stuff. You know what I mean? I do like taking it and then making it into something different, something better, something that maybe they missed when they were doing it. That's what I like to do with all my storylines. You know, the WWE right now, and for a long time, because there hasn't been that competition. That's why I really root for the AEW. I root for AEW, Impact Wrestling. I hope those guys do well. We need another WCW-like company to come in and elevate what the WWE is doing, which will elevate what they're doing, and they just keep elevating. That's why wrestling was so great from 1995 to 2001. Yeah, WCW has fallen off. I get it. Vince Russo wrote some of the dumbest stuff I've ever seen. But Vince Russo, on the flip side, wrote some really good stuff for WWE. So, go figure. You know what I mean? Who knows? Cruiserweight title on the line.
Introducing the challenger from London, England, the Legend Killer, Jane.
Jane making her way down to the ring. Oh, I will, 100%. And what's even crazier, AEW started in Huntsville, Alabama. That's where their very first show was, in the Von Braun Center. I wasn't there. I wasn't into wrestling at that time, though. So yeah, no, I don't watch a lot of current wrestling today. I try sometimes, and I don't like it. They have these stars that they could build up and make and do some great stuff with, and it's just like they're missing the bus and missing the bus and missing the bus. You guys are always like, hey, maybe you should get on and do the commentary for, one of these wrestling promotions. What I should do is write their storylines. You want to see some crazy stuff? I've got books and books and books. This is one of like 30 books of nothing but storylines and stuff that you haven't seen in wrestling. And the NWO is in the women's division now too.
From Huntsville, Alabama, Showtime, AJ Wagner.
Allison Wagner. You haven't heard me tell you who she is? That is my sister-in-law. Jace is my brother. That's his wife. So Allison Wagner now, if Jace is a part of the NWO, I guess it makes sense that his wife is a part of the NWO too. Oh yeah, ECW was amazing. ECW was amazing on a whole nother level because they didn't care. They were the anti-establishment, right? They were anti-everything. Hardcore everything. Do crazy everything. But that's why Mankind became Mankind.
From Little Rock, Arkansas, she is the Women's Cruiserweight Champion. The real deal, Mean.
MiMi, Cruiserweight title. Nobody has beat MiMi for that title since its inception, and she is a two-time champion, right? But she ends up winning the television title, vacates the Cruiserweight title, loses the television champion, and then comes back and in the vacated title match to name a new title holder, wins that. So she's the only Cruiserweight title holder there's ever been, and she's been the Cruiserweight title holder twice. Yeah, always insane. And so many people, if you really look at it, ECW created a lot of wrestlers. I can't even say a lot enough. They made more wrestlers than the WWE did during that period of time. And the WWE also created wrestlers. The WCW, who did they create? They created some people, but who? Sting, right? the Steiner brothers. Flair-ish. I mean, I kind of give credit to WWE and WCW for Flair. So yeah, I mean, but ECW, there's just piles and piles and piles of names that they created. So anyway, I digress on that. I could talk old school wrestling all day long, but let's get back to the Queen of the Ring, Allison. Jane and MiMi going for the Cruiserweight title holder. Yeah, so it's so good. I'm going back right now and rewatching from the inception of the NWO and the WCW on. And it's so funny. It's so amazing to watch it again. If you have Peacock, Peacock's an amazing thing. Now Allison trying to take control of what's going on in the ring. And MiMi says, hey, look, knock it off. I'm the champ. This is my house. Allison, though, wrestling like a person possessed. Gets a 1 count on Jane. And MiMi goes for the crossbody, misses it. Jane fights out of the head scissors lock that she was in. And huge back heel kick right to the face of MiMi upside the head. She's grabbing her head right now. Jane is laying the rights down. And for some reason, MiMi busts that up. Goes for the side slam. And there's that semi-extraction move. There's a few wrestlers that do it. And goes for the pin. 2. Gets a 2 count on MiMi. And Allison decides that it's time for her to play it up to the crowd. Kinda Jane got the raw end of that twice. And there it is, mini Rockopotamus. She's the only one that does it. Not quite the Rockopotamus, but like a mini version. It's almost like the mini extraction that some of these wrestlers do. And Allison connects on that. Little late reacting. Jane then grabs her, whips her into the corner. Up to the second rope. And this looks like a crazy move. That is like a jump through stunner chin breaker. Who knows what that is? But it was off the second rope, so it's a lot stronger. Jane steps through, kicks MiMi, catches her with the right on the way by, gets a 1 count. Allison trying to pick herself up. And I'm going to tell you right now, the NWO, we weren't sure if they were in the women's division. They obviously are now in the women's division. We have got to make sure that TSW maintains control of the Cruiserweight title. If you want to watch some great wrestling, 1995 WCW and WWE through the year till the end of the WCW, and then for another 5 or 6 years in the WWE. Amazing wrestling, great storylines. The fact that it's a 1 count. The fact, what I love about wrestling, I love knowing, I've always known, even as a kid, the business side of wrestling, the storylines that are created, and then how the wrestlers tell that story in the ring. That's what I love. That's what I love about this. And getting to interact with everybody and their versions of what they remember and how they do things with all you guys. Like, I love it. That's what I love. I love it. It has actually helped me reconnect with some of my buddies. Rob Lee, one of them. That's all we used to talk about in the Army, storylines, me and him back and forth. They should do this, they should do this. And I mean intricate storylines. So, crazy. Allison Wagner, I'm telling you, we've already talked about this one time. outside the ring is the great equalizer. Not where you want to be. Allison going for the pin on Jane. 1, 2. MiMi trying to get back to her feet. Allison helping Jane to her feet and catches her with that kick. Probably going for the pin. Trying to pin MiMi with that kick one time. But that is not the finisher. 1, 2. But it is. You take a heel of somebody's foot right in the side of your ear, and that's not good. MiMi actually hits her with the Via More. 1, 2, 3, and eliminates the NWO Allison out of here. TSW will retain the title no matter what happens tonight. And that is really good news. Finally, dealing the NWO their first blow of this pay-per-view. Now it's one-on-one. MiMi has been the only cruiserweight champion ever. Can Jane change that tonight? If they stay on the outside of this ring and Jane keeps doing that, she just might be able to do it. That is a lot of damage being dealt. MiMi ducks that right kick, gets her in a bulldog, down on the ground, and now she goes for a pin, using the ring a little bit. 1, 2, and Jane kicks out. Kind of had her foot up against the ring, using that as leverage to push against, but Jane still finds a way to kick out of that. Jane going for a combo and gets thrown right into the ring post for her troubles. And MiMi wore out too. Jane trying to get back up. Just doesn't have the strength to do it. Tribal Chief in the house. We may need to call on the Tribal Chief depending on what happens tonight with the world title. Jane kind of hits that mini extraction maneuver. Rolls MiMi up. 1, 2, 3, and Jane is now our brand new TSW Cruiserweight title champion.
Here is your winner and new
Gotta dance a little bit.
Cruiserweight champion.
Gotta get your dance on.
Legend killer, Jane.
Now I feel bad for MiMi, but now we finally have our second Cruiserweight title holder. Whoa, Rowdy. Rowdy says he's got his eyes on you too. Rowdy's got his eyes on Rob, and Rowdy's got his eyes on the Tribal Chief. Congratulations goes out to Jane winning the Cruiserweight title.